It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Chicago. And it's 7 p.m. in Philadelphia. And we are live, everyone. This is America's Podcast. What's the buzz? I am the Mad Dog DeCipio, joined by Big Cal. Call me Cal. How are you, Cal?
I'm doing great. Very well.
He's like a Gary Cooper type, folks. Cal is he doesn't say much, but when he does, it usually counts. So he's the strong silent type. Cal, what are you doing for Christmas?
Probably I gotta figure out. Probably maybe go to my mom's. Me and my girlfriend, her parents are leaving out of town, so we're kind of on our own on Christmas.
Where are they going for Christmas? They're leaving their daughter high and dry with you, and they're going to go out and like hit the ski slopes or something.
They're going to Indiana.
What, pray tell, is in Indiana?
My girlfriend's sister lives in Indiana near Fort Bragg.
Oh, I see. So they dumped one daughter to go see the other daughter.
Yes, and the third daughter is living in Canada.
Oh, well, they ain't going to Canada. So, you and I were talking before we went on the air. I had a good suggestion for Cal because he didn't know what he was going to do Christmas. I said, well, go out, take your girl out for dinner, and then after dinner, go drive around and look at Christmas lights in your neighborhood. That's always good, unless you live in a neighborhood that doesn't have like any Christmas spirit.
I live in the middle of nowhere.
Is there one house with lights on it?
No, not down my street.
Really?
Yeah,
we got to move you to a populated area, young man.
I would love to. We're so remote that we have wild turkeys out here.
Can I tell you something that's funny that you say that? I lived, and everybody who knows, they listen to the shit, they know. I lived in Tennessee for almost 15 years. All I had was wild turkey, geese, and deer. I had 5 acres on a mountaintop. I'm not even shitting you. I got pictures and film to prove it. I lived on a mountaintop in Tennessee. Only 2 people on top of that mountain, me and my next door neighbor. And this is the truth. He was the police chief, the fire chief, the chaplain, and the undertaker. I'm not even making that up.
Multitasker.
Yeah, talk about multitasking. Yeah, exactly. And his name was Bruce. I'll never forget him. What a great guy, too. Bruce Foster. Bruce Foster was the police chief, the fire chief, the chaplain, the undertaker, the funeral director. He did all. Now, I think he might have sidelined as the dog catcher too. I'm not sure.
When I lived in Florida, I lived in an area where my nearest neighbor was a 22-minute drive.
Your nearest neighbor?
Yes, like anybody. Like, have you ever seen The Hills Have Eyes or Wrong Turn?
Yeah.
It was exactly like that to a T.
Really?
Yeah.
You lived in a horror film.
It felt like it. Like anybody could have came out there, killed us, and nobody would have ever known. Son?
What was the name of this? Remind me not to go there if I ever go to Florida for any godforsaken reason.
Baker, Florida. It's about 50 miles east of Pensacola.
Oh, up in the Panhandle.
Yep.
Oh man! Oh, no wonder there's nothing up there. Holy shit!
No tourists.
We have. I'll tell you what. We have some real interesting stories on this show from like where people are from, where they moved to, and got into my story. I could do a 3-part show just on my shit, but I'm going to have to find out all I can about Baker, Florida, and see if they ever filmed any horror movies there. And if they did, it'll explain a lot to you, Big Cal. We got a hell of a show tonight, Cal. We talked about this. We actually did this show. I'm going to fill everybody in. Amelia is getting her hair cut tonight. So she may or may not pop in. Um, if she does, you'll see her pop in. She'll be here. If not, you're stuck with me on count tonight. Tonight is a special episode of Behind the Veil when mystery becomes history. And no more mysterious than the death of actress Anne Heche. Now, when I told you about this subject matter tonight, it was an interesting one. It brought an interesting reaction from you. What do you know about this kid? Because we did this story when it happened, Amelia and I. We were on the air when all of this happened, so we covered it pretty much like live. So, what do you know about this rather peculiar case?
Well, basically, Anne Heche, she died in a car accident. Apparently, there was cocaine found in her system. Um, but at the same time, it's always been suspicious, because of her ties to Ellen, their ties to Diddy, their ties to Justin Bieber,
Hmm.
you
And
know.
you're
It,
right about all of that, except for, interestingly enough, they never found any drugs in her system. 3 autopsies were done on Anne Heche. Here is what we know. And then here are the facts, and here is the conjecture. And I've got them both in front of me. So let me just go through what we actually do know. These are established facts, by the way, and you're more than welcome to check it out. And they're supported by official sources in Los Angeles and L.A. County. All right. So the date is August 5th, 2022. The location is Los Angeles, California, and Heche was driving a car known as a Mini Cooper. And if you've ever seen a Mini Cooper, they're really small. They look like a child's toy. They're really little cars. And I actually like them for the way they're they're quite aerodynamic. They're a nice car and they're really good on gas.
I drove a friend of mine's Mini Cooper, and it was a 5-speed. They're actually pretty nice.
They really are. It's a nice car. So she was driving a Mini Cooper when she was involved in not one, Cal, but 2 automobile accidents. The first was a hit and run collision with she kind of ran into, and she couldn't stop the car. She ran into a garage that was a part of an apartment complex. Like sometimes when you go into an apartment, they'll have these. Sometimes the apartment will have like a garage attached to it. Like it'll go under the building.
Oh yeah, we've got tons of them here in Charleston, but they can't go underground because Charleston is under sea level.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then that's kind of what happened here. Is it was one of those like garage slash driveways that kind of like went semi underneath the apartment building. Apparently, she couldn't stop the car, and she went under and she hit, the garage wall basically, which did some damage to the apartment building. Not tremendous damage, but enough that she messed up her car pretty good. So, and the second one is the one we will talk about tonight, where she, at a high rate of speed. Now, this is what we're going to talk a lot about this tonight. And by the way, folks, this is going to be an extended holiday edition. We're going to be here for a little bit. At a high rate of speed, she ran into a residential home in a neighborhood, a pretty populated neighborhood too. The problem was she could not stop the vehicle. There were some indications early on. In fact, we talked about it when it happened, that maybe the brake lines were cut. maybe somebody was toying around with the braking system of the car or the gear shift. The problem was that what we know for certain, for fact, and with established evidence, is that the gear shift was stuck, and it was stuck in third. Now, I don't know about how conventional stick shifts work, but I know you've got first, second, and third. Any one of them, the gears are supposed to shift into the next position, right, Cal?
Right.
Okay, so what happens then, Cal, if you're stuck in third and you can't get it out? What happens then and you can't stop your car?
Well, here's the thing. If you're driving a standard transmission and you're in third, I mean, if you so the brakes weren't working, she had to be on a decline, because if she was on an incline, she would have been able to stop and roll back a little bit.
Stop right there. Interesting that you say that. Interesting that you say that, because the street, and you're going to see the street tonight. Here's the funny thing about this street. It is absolutely flat. You can see from one end of the street completely down for almost a mile. That's how long this road is. And you can literally, and you're going to see it tonight, you can literally see from one end to the other. And you're going to see some photos tonight too. Well, we got a lot of video. I mean, we've got probably 11, 12 videos tonight. So let's just start with the backstory. Here's some basic backstory info. And this is from the Hollywood Story, or it's from Hollywood Extra. Let's just take a look.
Wishes?
Sure. I don't want anyone to be hurt.
Ellen DeGeneres is sending kind words to her ex, Anne Heche, amid her hospitalization following her life-threatening car crash.
Vehicle into a structure. We also have a structure fire, 2-story, single-family dwelling, heavy smoke showing. Keep everybody coming.
While out and about in Santa Barbara, the former daytime talk show host gave a brief comment on the actress, whom she dated from 1997 to 2000.
Have you spoken to Anne Heche at all since her accident?
Have not.
Do you want to...
We're not in touch with each other, so I wouldn't know.
It's seemingly true. Ellen and Anne have had little to no communication since their split. That's something Anne mentioned to E.T.
In case you didn't hear what she said, when the reporter asked her, have you talked to Anne Heche? Here's what she said was pretty interesting, kind of cold. She said to the reporter, "Shut up. I don't talk to her, so how would I know?" And you're going to hear this again. Cal, I heard this. I was floored. I had the same look that you have on your face right now. Take a listen to this, Cal, and then tell everybody what's going on.
Have not.
Do you want to...
We're not in touch with each other, so I wouldn't know.
It's seemingly true. Ellen and Anne have had little to no communication since their split. That's something Anne mentioned to E.T. a couple...
Say that again, Cal.
She sounded kind of bitter when asked about that.
She was. Thank you for saying that, because I said the same thing. What is she so pissed off about? The guy's just asking a question. He's not, first of all, he didn't chase her. He didn't go after her. He stood in one spot and waited for her to come to him. He asked her the question, and she basically says to him, "Shut up. I don't talk to her, so how would I know?" Okay. But I heard that went, "Man, what the hell? Who pissed in her Cheerios today?" Right? Kind of like that's what I got from it, just like you said, Cal.
Years ago.
Elle and I haven't spoken in years, and you know, in a relationship, and I think many of us have them, you come to a fork in the road. What do you want, and what do I want? and those goals, that intent in life, is determined by the individual. And her intent and my intent were different, and that's why we separated.
But despite the two not being in touch, Ellen still hopes Anne comes out of the accident okay.
I don't want anyone to be hurt.
Yeah, it's quite a dangerous accident that happened, wasn't it?
Sure was.
Ellen and Anne have a lot of history together. Back in the 90s, their debut as a couple wasn't welcomed with open arms.
I think people have let go of this a little bit. I think they've calmed down and realized that, it's just hopefully something that's like any other couple.
It's a moment in time Anne opened up about while she competed on Dancing with the Stars in 2020.
My movie premiere, Volcano, I had told them that I was taking Ellen as my date, and I was told if I took Ellen, I would lose my Fox contract. At that moment, she took my hand and said, "Do what they say." And I say, "No, thanks." I took Ellen to the premiere. I was ushered out by security before the movie even ended and told I was not allowed to go to my own after party for fear that they would get pictures of me with a woman.
But despite those struggles, years later, she sees the good that came from that entire experience.
We went through an incredible time, and we were truly a part of a revolution that helped move the needle, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. Ellen and I had a little bit different twist on the story of what we were fighting for 20 years ago and fighting for equality, and I'm so thrilled to have been by her side. What I was talking about was a little bit more of a concept that love is a choice, and I made one, and it was one of the most life-changing choices of my life, and I stand up for that more than I would do the same thing all over again. This is a time and an opportunity for me to be able to say that I believe love is a choice, and we all should support everyone to have their own private life and do what they want to do if they're experiencing a little bit of joy with another person.
Okay, now, she sent in that clip, Cal. She sounds like a person that's come to, the realization that, her and her girlfriend broke up, and, they have their own separate lives now, and you live your life and I'll live my life. That's what it sounds like, right?
Right, but I couldn't help but by watching her body language, all the talking with her hands, like she's
brother, you haven't seen the half of it yet. Holy cow. I'm serious. You haven't. You are really observant, Cal. You haven't seen the half of it. Wait till you see what's coming up. You want to talk about her hands and what she does with her hands. Brother, I'm going to show you some stuff. I had to watch this a few times, and I'm going to be honest with you. And I had to really question, is she like all there? Because she sounds verbally, she sounds okay. But you're going to see and hear two different things. You're going to hear the words, then you're going to see her actions.
As somebody that is on, because I'm on the spectrum, Anne Heche, I can tell by her body language and how she carried herself, she was definitely on somewhere on the spectrum as herself.
And you're absolutely right. And that was part of the problem with her as a child. It's also part of the problem as to why she had little to no relationship with her mother. Her mom was embarrassed that she was autistic. She was actually diagnosed at 13 as bipolar, and a doctor said she's more autistic than bipolar. But Cal, that being autistic, bipolar disease often accompanies it. I can't hear you. I can't hear you shaking your head. You have to speak into that microphone in front of you, brother.
Yeah, I get pretty moody sometimes, when things don't go how they're supposed to.
Yeah,
but that's normal.
Exactly, but it's all part and parcel of bipolar disorder. Let's take a look. I want you to first of all, I want to thank my friend Todd for letting me use some of his clips, and I want to just venture back a little bit. Here's a little bit of backstory.
One of those names in 1994 was Steve Martin, legendary comedian, but it was a very short-lived, like 6-month romance that was heavily criticized. And the reason that it ended is because Anne ended up meeting Ellen DeGeneres, which is another rising young female star comedian at the time. And the two of them, after linking up, the chemistry and the fire, the flame was hot. Anne recalls seeing Ellen DeGeneres at a Vanity Fair Oscar party, and it was kind of like love at first sight. Even though she was still with Steve Martin at the time, she was just in love. The two of them started a kind of secret relationship in 1997, because obviously at this time, that wasn't a very mainstream idea, wasn't widely accepted. But they were so serious that they actually had talked about marriage, and they're quoted as saying that if one of them ended up passing away, that the other one would want to go too, which is like kind of poetic, Romeo and Juliet kind of stuff, but a little extreme. But they didn't keep it secret for very long, because in April of 1997, Anne would invite Ellen to be her +1 for the premiere of her new movie, Volcano. This is a huge no-no in the industry, apparently, because Anne describes having this meeting with Ellen where she talks about wanting to bring her, and she says that there was 5 guys in suits that showed up, and all told her, like, no, you're not bringing her. Do not bring her. If you do, you will be fired. She also says that Ellen told her, like, no, don't do it. Please don't do this. You don't know what you're up against. You don't know what these people are capable of.
I asked her to come and meet me for lunch at the Four Seasons, and I was greeted by 5 suits. As far as I remember, I didn't invite anybody else to lunch today. And they said, we know that you want to take Ellen to the premiere, and we're here to tell you that you will be fired from your $10 million picture deal if you do it. Ellen looked at me. I was sitting on the armchair because she lived Four Seasons chair, and she said, do what they say. You don't know what you're up against. We've only known each other for a couple of days. And I said, I do know what I'm up against.
Interesting. She gets a visit at the Four Seasons Hotel. Now, Cal, have you ever been to Los Angeles?
No, the only time I went to California, we went to Fresno for 2 days. That was it.
Fresno's important because part of what you're going to hear tonight happened in Fresno. In fact, a lot of people say this is Fresno, California, is where Anne Heche broke with reality, and that they're calling it the Fresno incident. You're going to hear about that tonight. But in Los Angeles, Cal, there's a place called the Four Seasons Hotel. It's quite posh, to say the least. It is quite exclusive, to say the least. Just to give you an idea, to sit down and have a bowl of soup and a salad will cost you $75 for a salad and a bowl of soup. I could get a salad and a bowl of soup at the local diner for about $8. Okay, but this is the Four Seasons you're talking about. Okay, it's a really, yeah. It better be. There better be gold leaf in that soup. Brother, I'll tell you what, it better be really good soup, Cal. But you're going to hear about that. You're also going to hear about her bipolar disorder. I want you to watch this because we're going, like I said, we got a lot of video to go through, and we're going to talk about all of this.
Multiple personalities. She says that she already had a personality named Celestia because her middle name is Celeste. And this is kind of a way for a lot of people who've gone through something traumatic to separate themselves from the trauma by creating this other personality. This personality is experiencing it, not me. It's a way to really distance yourself from the abuse.
Not everybody has a story of discovery like I do. I was discovered in a high school play. Francis Parker, Chicago. Jennifer Beals went to my school, and a casting director was on her way to Los Angeles. Got snowed in, called the school because Jennifer Beals used to go there and said, is there a play on tonight? It was Thornton Wilder's Skin of Our Teeth. Right after she asked me to come and audition for a soap opera in New York, and the rest is history. Vicki Marley, Another World.
She uses her hands a lot. And you can tell she's not using her hands to talk. She's using her hands because it's almost like she needs to do something with them. Cal, talk to me about why people on the spectrum and why people with bipolar disorder feel the need for that attention? Because I don't get it. And, I don't think I'll ever really get it.
Because
So-
it's very hard for people that are neurotypical or neurological. It's very hard for them to express themselves. And a lot of times I'll even use my hands, and it kind of helps me slow down my speech so I can actually get my point across without sounding like a damn fool.
Interesting. Stop right there, Cal, because I'm going to follow that with something, and you're going to see this too. And you just saw it. You just said something that I've heard doctors talk about, that your hands are your control mechanism. You can use your hands literally to slow yourself down, right?
Right.
What did she just do? She used her hands. Call me crazy, because you and I both saw the same thing. She used her hands to speed herself up. Am I nuts, or is that what happened? Or am I seeing
It
what I wanna
happened,
see?
but at the same time, she was trying to slow herself down, because so far from the videos that I've seen,
Yeah.
interviews that she's done, her speech, she talks really, really fast naturally.
Oh, wait. You know what, Sal? It's like you planned this show without me here. Good. Wait, here's the next one. Like I said, we're going to watch a lot of video tonight, and then after we watch all the video, then you and I, Cal, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes.
Haish broke up with Ellen, then it doesn't really make sense that she would be all sad and depressed off on this drug-fueled space Christian rescue mission, wearing only a bra. And like I mentioned before, it was after the year 2000 that Anne Heche's career starts to slowly diminish. And there's even news.
Okay, Cal, this is the so-called Fresno incident. Now, what Todd's talking about here, let me just fill everybody in. What happened here is interesting, because it was during a period of time where Anne Heche was actually doing mentally really, really well. That's the surprise part of it, because she was doing real well. And that didn't happen often. But here's what happened in Fresno. Her car. She has a problem with her car. She stalls out. She's got to have some kind of help. She does not have a phone in her car. So she breaks down in front of someone's, again, in the neighborhood, someone's home. She goes to the door and she starts telling people she's God and she's here to redeem them. But she needs help getting back to heaven. She's talking crazy. That's real. If someone comes to your door, Cal, and she's talking, a woman comes to your door and she's speaking like that, but you know who she is, what do? Again, she's a pretty famous person. People know what she looks like, right?
Right.
They know what she sounds like. But she comes to the lady's door and she's rambling all this crazy stuff. What would you do?
Well, number one, I would try to help her. She's at my doorstep and she's having an episode. It would become my responsibility to make sure nothing bad happens.
Okay, interesting. And that's what most people would do. That's not what the woman in Fresno did. The woman in Fresno slammed the door in her face. And then she proceeded to call the police. Here's what happened.
It's talking about how this Fresno incident was kind of like the final nail in the coffin for her. She wasn't really in any mainstream anything following.
So what Todd is saying is, in the aftermath of her Fresno incident, Heche's once promising career seemed to be reduced to late night talk show punchlines like Jimmy Kimmel and Fallon and and Conan O'Brien. She was basically fodder for late night humor. It's interesting that most actors, and this is nothing that you can't check out, and you please check this out. Most actors have some sort of personality defect, flaw, or idiosyncrasy. That's what makes them great actors. Kevin Spacey, you know who he is, right, Cal?
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey is not only bipolar, but he's autistic. But he's an Academy Award winner. Okay? This is what we're talking about. Watch.
This Fresno incident. People kind of wrote her off as crazy after this.
And that's what happened in Fresno. And that's why the Fresno incident was the pinpoint of her pivot from reality to this place in time now where she kind of goes a bit, I don't know, how do I want to say this politely? She kind of I don't want to say she went off the deep end, because she kind of been in and out of the deep end of the pool for a little while now, Cal. To be, and I'm trying to make light of it a little bit because it is so serious.
I'm not the type to sugarcoat.
Go for it, please.
I mean, she was on something, like, at the very end of her life. Like, she definitely let the drugs take over. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But nobody goes around telling people that they are God unless they are on drugs or they're full-blown narcissists.
Oh boy, did you open up a can of worms with that one. And I'm glad you did, because we're going to let them worms scatter all over the table. Because we got a lot of worms here to go through, brother. Take a look at this. And Cal, I want you to notice that what you're looking at is the camera that caught the footage that you're about to watch. It's really important. I want you to take notice of the car and the street. Take notice.
Cindy, when you see Anne Hesh speeding by, it is literally, I'm not going to go in their driveway, but it's literally right here.
Watch that again.
It's a blue Mini Cooper.
Blue Mini Cooper, and it's flying. It's flying down that street. What did you notice about that street, Cal?
There was no incline. It was perfectly. There was no way. That's strange, because all you would have to do, like, if it's stuck in third gear, all she would had to have done was put her foot on the clutch, put it in neutral, and slowly roll to a stop. So it's either she didn't know that, or she was not conscious while that car was moving at that speed.
Thank you. Thank you. There are people who swear that they saw her slumped over. Let me see. I'm gonna think it's only out of the at least dozen people, only four. Was it four? Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Only 5 of the possibly 12 to 15 people who reported to the police that they saw someone kind of slumped over. Only about 5 of them went on to make statements. Now, like I said, 12 to 15 people who said they saw this, but only 5 of them made actual statements. Now, why would they do that? Because either they actually did see what they said they saw and felt the need to do that, or, and here's the conspiracy part, or you're being told that 5 people made statements. I happen to believe the 5 people who said that they made a statement. I happen to believe them. There's no reason for me, even now, 3 years later, 4 years later, almost 4 years later now, there's no reason for me to believe they're not telling the truth. Why would I want to doubt someone who says they saw what they saw? I'm not going to call their eyesight, lying. I'm not going to say they have lying eyes, because that, first of all, I'm not going to call anybody a liar. Not unless I can prove they're a liar. So go ahead, Cal. Give me your thoughts on that.
I mean, personally, that was a hit job. Like, she was probably unconscious when that happened, and they were trying to silence her.
Here's the net. You know what? I think Cal wrote this script for me. What does that say? Was she murdered or silenced? That's what it says right there. So
wow.
Now, here's the difference. If she was murdered, understandably, that's a cause of death. Would you agree, Cal?
Yes.
Let me say this, Cal. You may not be aware of this. Anne Heche, and look this up if you think I'm kidding. Anne Heche is the only person in recorded human history who was pronounced dead 3 times.
3 times?
3 times. And you're going to hear all 3 times tonight. All right, so here's the claim. Common conspiratorial or speculation claims. These are claims semi-supported by evidence and or circumstantial evidence. Okay. The following claims have been circulated primarily online and lack some substantial corroboration from official investigative sources. However, they do claim, back up, Ange. They do contain claims made by forensic evidence and journalistic sources. So you've got professional journalists and professional forensic people involved who say there might be more here than people think. Was she murdered or silenced? That's the heading. Claims suggest that Heche was the target of the hit due to alleged knowledge of elite secrets or past relationships with Ellen DeGeneres and knowledge of P. Diddy Combs and Justin. And Justin, it says. So I'm guessing that means Justin Bieber.
Yep, you got it.
Is that who we're talking about, Bieber? Okay.
Yep.
Because to my knowledge, the only Justin I know about is Justin Timberlake. And I don't think there's any connection between any of them and Ellen and Anne Heche. I don't think Justin Timberlake has anything to do with any of that. But we do know that Ellen DeGeneres has a very, very close relationship with Justin Bieber. That explains a lot why Justin Bieber is so fucked up in the head right now. I think that man was.
Justin
I think that poor
Bieber was passed around.
Yeah, well, I think Bieber, and I'm going to say this, I think Justin Bieber was threatened. I think he was forced to follow a certain way to continue his path to stardom. Everybody knows who Justin Bieber is. Every teeny bopper 15, 20 years ago knew who Justin Bieber was, okay? He's not a skinny teeny bopper anymore. He's he's approaching middle age, okay? I think he's older than you, Cal. I think he's about 40, maybe 45. How old is he?
No way. I got to look that up.
Because you're 36, right?
Yeah, I'm turning
I think
37
he's got
in
a-
March.
I think Bieber's going to be about 40, maybe 45.
There is no way. Hold up.
Cal just disappeared, folks, into his green screen.
Oh, whoa.
But yeah, interesting stuff.
Justin Bieber's 31.
He's 31.
Yeah.
He looks like a man in his 40s.
Well, I
He looks
mean,
terrible. He's 31.
he was passed around at these P. Diddy parties. Like, he was.
Oh, well, we know that. There's film of it. There's film of it online and on the dark web. We know that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like, his parents
What?
sold him.
Was she actually brain dead? Does a brain dead person have the ability to sit straight up on a stretcher? Well, let's listen to this guy.
Film sitting up on the stretcher. That was something really bizarre.
And then the driver, well, LA City Fire Department, their paramedics pulled that driver from that vehicle. We have tape of that, and then basically had him on a gurney. We weren't sure what the situation was there on his condition, but then as he made his way over to the ambulance, you see it right there, he jumps up out of that gurney. It was horrific, scary for a moment for everybody watching.
What you're going to find out really strange is that she was pronounced dead 2 times. That I thought was fascinating. I'm going to get into that in the autopsy report. But she was filmed sitting up on the stretcher and struggling with firefighters while she was being wheeled.
Cal, you heard the news reporter say he. At the time, they did not know if it was a male or female, but the guy in the reporting from the helicopter, you see there's a helicopter filming down on the location. The helicopter reporter said he. We know now it's not a he, so just understand they're going with what they knew at the time.
Ambulance, but lost consciousness soon afterwards.
All right. Now, you heard what he said. It was reported that she lost consciousness afterwards. There's no proof to support that. There is absolutely no proof to support. Why was Anne Heche declared dead 3 times? Well, here's what the state says. She was not medically declared dead. Here's the difference. There's a difference between brain death, physical death, and something called legal death. We're going to talk about that. What occurred was a distinction between legal death and psychological death. This is what they mean by brain dead. They call it psychological death. That's the term that the forensic examiners use. They don't use the term brain dead. They say psychological death. In other words, you don't have the ability to think. You don't have the ability to reason. You don't have the ability to speak because your brain controls every function of your body. Does it not? Correct?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, if you're psychologically impaired or psychologically deceased in terms that the state guidelines require, then you're what we call brain dead. Then there's no coming back from brain death. That's all there is to it. The problem gets into the murky waters of legal death, because what determines legal death? Is it your heart stops? Is it your breathing stops? Is it you can't walk? What is legal death? That's the murky water. Psychological death, brain death, is pretty cut and dry. The reason she was declared dead 3 times, folks, 3 times, not twice, by the way, what the gentleman said, 3 times, and you're going to hear this tonight, was because there couldn't be they could not make a clear-cut distinction between medical death, psychological death, and physical death. So you're going to hear this, and I want you to start hearing this now. You're going to see something that was never seen before. We're going to talk about this one.
That we were looking for, that anxious or that quick moving that was going on the other side of the vehicle. Oh my gosh, he's completely alive. He was trying to get away.
I want you to take a good look at something. I'm going to roll this back. Cal, I want you to look at the fire engine that says E43 on it. Okay?
Okay.
There's an ambulance that says 63 on it. They are from the same squad. But I want you, again, to take, because you're pretty good at watching stuff, I want you to take very keen notice as to what happens on the right-hand side of that number 63. Take a good look at this
vehicle. Oh my gosh, he's completely alive. He was trying to get away.
He was trying to get away.
Whoever.
Go ahead.
Okay, so number one, I see the firefighter on the right trying to push him back down onto the gurney.
Stop right there. That's exactly what happened. They didn't just gently lay her down. They pushed her back down onto that gurney. What you cannot see there is going to blow your mind when I show you the clip that you can see, because you're going to go nuts when you see it. Let's watch.
I don't know. That was really, really strange. And that's what we love about breaking news here in Los Angeles, is right when you think you've seen it all, something else happens. So there you go. You guys saw it live. Kind of hope we had a better shot. I'm sure they're going to sedate that victim. That was crazy. Now the next question is, yeah, he tried to get out.
Somebody's talking into the reporter's ear. They're saying to him, what happened? And he said they were trying to get out. All right, watch this. Watch this again, because it's a 3-second clip, what's called a clip, which is a looping clip. So watch this clip. Okay? Tell me what you see, and watch, Cal, carefully. Three times you're seeing it. Tell me what you see, Cal.
She looks burned.
What is striking about that clip?
She looks like her skin is burned.
She's got no face. Yeah. Look at her face. It's off. Watch. Watch this clip. Folks, those of you watching on television are jumping in your seats right now. Those of you on radio, I encourage you to go to our YouTube channel and watch this just as soon as you can, because you're going to see Anne Heche as never before. Again, watch this clip.
I see the
activity
structure.
that we were looking for.
Go ahead.
I saw the structure where you can see the nose, but as for the eyes or a mouth, I couldn't see it.
It's indistinguishable. Cal, let's just say, for argument's sake, let's just say the conspiracy people are right. And you know, Cal, this show, we love a good conspiracy here, don't we?
Yes.
And I love a good conspiracy, but I got to tell you something, folks. I saw this clip today, and I'm not going to tell you where I got it, but you will not find it on Odyssey or YouTube or Yuvu or any of those video streaming platforms. That clip was hand delivered to me in an unencrypted email. And I will tell you that it's the only clip I've ever seen from the street level. Cal, that changed everything. I was willing to believe, and I'm going to say this now in front of the world. I've got 13 pages here of conspiracy. Okay? I've got 13 pages of conspiracy here. That one clip, and I have to rip this all up now. Why? Because it clearly shows a woman in shock, number one. Number two, a woman that is so badly burnt, she literally does not have a face. And even her hair is singed off of her head. You can't see that view from the aerial shot, can you, Cal?
No.
But you can on that ground shot. Now, again, because I got to cover both sides, we're going to call this next part of the show accident or something else. Let's take a listen. Cal, did you hear the car screech?
Yes, and then a little bit of a crash.
And then you heard the crash. So let's hear that again, because I want people to understand. Those people that said the brakes were cut, well, clearly they were not cut. Clearly they were not cut. Why do we know that? Because you just heard the tires screech. What is not clear is how far into that street did she get before she started to slam the brakes on. Because I still believe, and I will always believe this, given Anne Heche's history with not one, not two, but at 3 publicly acknowledged and documented incidents, she had car trouble with that Mini Cooper, and she never got rid of it. She continued to have it fixed, even though she was told that it's a bad car for her. Now, a Mini Cooper is a really great car, but like every other car ever made, mechanical things can go wrong with it. Your brakes can go out. Your gears can get stuck. You can get stuck in a certain gear and not get out of it.
Someone can also hack your vehicle and cause it to drive and control it from a remote
And
place.
we are actually you're going to see a little bit of that tonight. Because I just watched, before we went on the air, an hour and a half video of how people can hack your car. Because every car right now on the road, has a computer in it. And you can go to your desktop computer. You can hack your car from your desktop computer, Cal. Did you know that?
I know it's possible. I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, I know it's possible because I saw how a guy did it. And I'm going to send you that video. But watch this. There's the screech. This is another helicopter view from up above. Watch. Oh, and by the way, they are on top of the roof of the house. What they're doing is they busted in the roof so that they could spray water into the burning car in that woman's living room. Interesting. What did you see there, Cal?
Well, number one, that's a pretty strong roof to handle the weight of all them even standing on it.
Exactly. Did you see the house before it was hit?
No, I did not.
It was a very decent sized house in a very upper class neighborhood. These were not little houses. They were not your little white picket fence houses. These were pretty solid houses. But you're going to see more of that house now.
9 firefighters, 45 minutes to put this.
Did you hear what he said?
Took firefighters 45. Well, it says 65 minutes to extinguish the flame and extract the driver. So it took them about an hour.
Wait a minute. How many firefighters, Cal? Tell everyone.
59 firefighters.
You hear what he just said, folks? Did you hear what he just said? It took the Los Angeles Fire Department responding to an emergency call around 10:56 a.m. local time, during which it took, like Cal just said, 59 firefighters around 65 minutes. That's an hour and 5 minutes, folks, to extinguish flame and extract the driver, according to the press release. All right? That's where we are.
Now,
how long does it take under normal circumstances? How long does it take a normal
to pull somebody out of a burning car?
Yeah.
Maybe about, but depending on conditions, 10, 15 minutes.
You're right there.
We also got to think about this. California, they don't even have water in their hydrants. Like when I was in California recently.
Wait. Oh, boy, man, Cal is on it tonight, man. Cal is just like burning up the phone lines with this one. Not only did they have water in that neighborhood, which they got real lucky, but they just happened to be quote unquote, folks, air quotes. They just happened to be in an area where there were 4 local firehouses that everyone responded from. 59 firefighters. 59 firefighters took an hour and 5 minutes to put out a fire and extract the driver. Watch this.
Car/house fire out. Doesn't that seem crazy? Yeah, it seemed crazy to me too. So I was looking into other reports, other fires of, very similar nature.
Here you go, Cal. Here you go, Cal. Mar Vista home fire. A one-story home was engulfed in flames. They put it out in 26 minutes. A renovation-related fire was extinguished in 21 minutes. A fire led to the deaths of an elderly man and woman and their cat. All right? 20 minutes, 21 minutes, 26 minutes. When Cal says 15 minutes, he's right in the ballpark. But
so this tells me that, there was way too many firefighters for it to just be gross incompetence. Like,
what do they call that? Too many hands spoiling the soup? Is that what they say?
Too many cooks to spoil the broth.
I like that one better. That's beautiful.
We put out in like 20, 25 minutes, half the time. So what took them so long? It took them 25 minutes before they even realized somebody was even in the car. Then they start putting this fire out and they say it took them way too long and the car was lodged in the middle of the house so they couldn't get to it. But nothing.
It's no wonder Anne Heche didn't have a face. She was in a burning car, Cal. No wonder she didn't have a face. Her face, by the way, folks, was off.
She died a terrible death.
Horrible. That's why, and we're going to get into her death. That's why she was declared dead 3 times. By the way, each time they declared her dead, they had to go to court to do it. They don't play around in Cal. They don't play around in Cal.
Is as strange as what happens next. There's speculation that the reason the fire took so long to put out is because they let it go on that long. Either they were paid off or they weren't firefighters at all. And one of the things I found very interesting is that there's a few of these firefighters whose outfits are way too clean. All the other guys.
I want you to take a good look at that photo, because you're going to see a photo later that's going to blow you away. Watch.
Guys look like they fought a few fires in their time. These guys look like they just started today. And yet somehow these are the guys that we see wheeling Anne Heche out on the gurney into the ambulance. But the craziest thing happens as she's getting pushed into the ambulance. She sits up, rips open this body bag she's in, and it looks like she's trying to escape. Now everybody online, all the news.
All right, now Cal, that guy, you said that he shoved her back in. Watch, because watch what they wrote right above him.
News media, all the mainstream narratives say that she was so badly burned and she had such bad smoke inhalation that she was immediately declared brain dead and she was immediately taken into the hospital.
Just shove her in there. You see that?
Yep.
Hospital and ended up in a coma. But if we take a look at this video, it clearly shows Anne Heche sitting up, not in a coma, not brain dead. And if we look at her body, she does not appear to be that badly burned. What gives? I also found...
Okay, now, Cal, you heard what the guy just said. I want you to, again, be truthful to what you saw.
That's a bunch of bullshit. You can look at her right now and see that her back is scaling. Like, she got pretty fucking badly burned.
Let me tell you what you're looking at, Cal. You're absolutely right. You see that darker area on her back?
Yeah, on the left.
She was wearing a T-shirt. They call them wife beaters, right?
Yeah, it burnt to her skin.
It's her T-shirt is burnt right to her skin. You're absolutely right.
It's fused.
It's fused to her. I want you to really take a look at this. I want you to look at the top of her head. She doesn't have any hair. Watch.
not in a coma, not brain dead.
Right there. That's the top of her head.
Shit.
There's no hair there. It's burnt off. Okay? I was prepared to do a conspiracy show like none other. But I have to tell you, there's no conspiracy here, folks. This woman was burnt to a crisp. It's a wonder she lived as long as she did afterward. Watch.
Dead. And if we look at her body, she does not appear to be.
Look at her. Look at her. Cal, look at the top of her head. There's no hair there.
Yeah, I see it. I'm like, I feel so horrible. Like, wow.
That badly burned. What gives? I also found reports that say that only 12% of her body actually sustained burns, and they were only second-degree burns. And I know
that's absolutely not true. We know it's not true because we've got 3 independent medical examiners, none of whom know each other, by the way. None of whom know each other, 2 of whom are not in California, who said it's a miracle that this woman lived any longer than 24 hours. She should have died that day, is what they said.
Still bad. I'm sure that really sucked still, but it wasn't third-degree burns on more than 25% of her body, which can be fatal. What the mainstream coroner's report and findings all say is that Anne Heche suffered a severe anoxic brain injury, likely from the accident and then from prolonged smoke exposure. That kind of oxygen deprivation can leave you essentially brain dead after a while. But you can't be brain dead and then go unbrain dead and then go.
Okay. This is where, again, Cal, this is where you and I were talking about. The difference between brain death, physical death, or what they call, psychological death is what they call brain death. So we're going to use the term psychological death. And then there's physical death. And then there's legal death. She was declared dead on each count. Physical, psychological, and what was the other one? Physical death, psychological death, and legal death. So let's watch.
Brain dead again. So how is she sitting up on this gurney? The crash happened on August 5th. She was declared brain dead and in a coma on August 5th. Then on August 11th, she was officially declared dead by the state of California. Because apparently, if you're declared brain dead, then you're legally dead. So she died again on August 11th. And then on August 14th, they officially pulled the plug and her heart stopped. And she died for the 3rd time. So there's multiple reports saying multiple different dates.
Okay. Cal, you and I have a serious discussion coming up right now. You heard 3 different types of death. He said that she died 3 times. How is it possible and why is it possible?
Because when she was declared dead, she wasn't really dead. Like you can't just spring up like that. There's no other time in recorded medical history where that's happened.
Well, you're absolutely right, but there's a reason, and I wasn't aware of this until today. There's a reason she was declared dead 3 different times, and it has to do with the fact, and it's important that everybody listens, because you did not hear this on the news at the time, because it was not known at the time. Anne Heche was an organ donor. Okay. Your eyes just bugged out of your head, Cal. She was an organ donor. For that to happen, for you to donate your organ in any state, not just California, you have to have a full cessation of life, which means your physical body, your psychological state must cease to exist. You can have a heartbeat. That does not mean life. People that are brain dead, their heart still beats. There was a woman in Florida. Her name was Terry Schiavo. Terry Schiavo lived for 40, listen to what I'm saying to you. She lived for 40 years plus.
In a vegetative state.
In a vegetative state with a tube in her mouth. Okay? It finally took a lawyer and a compassionate judge to say, please, for the love of God, take this out. And the judge and the state of Florida did the right thing for a change, and they let this woman die with dignity. Finally, after 40 plus years, 44 years, I believe it was.
I'm sorry, but they let her suffer for 40 years.
Way
That's not
too
dignity.
long. Well, I'm 1,000% with you, Cal. 1,000% with you. Watch this.
She actually was declared no longer with us. That alone is kind of fishy. On top of the fact that there's really not much else known about what happened after she went into this coma. She was rushed to an intensive burn unit, and she was kept under police surveillance because the police opened up a DUI investigation into her.
That's not true. That's already been proven false. That's already been proven false. There was no police involvement at any point for any reason. She was a woman who had an accident, got burnt, and died.
Whole case. And then once she passed away, suddenly the police decide, we're no longer going to investigate. Nothing to see here. She's gone. Nothing to investigate. We don't need to know. That's weird, right? And of course, on top of everything else going on with all the news reporting,
authorities have revealed that preliminary testing indicates.
All right. All right. So, Cal, let's talk about this because we got one more video to look at. One more video to look at. So what do you think? Would you think this guy doesn't have his information? Do you think he's going with the conspiratorial line of thinking here?
I mean, it's common sense. Like his entire take.
Where's your head on this? Tell me where you are on this, Cal.
I mean, he can't have all the information, but he's pretty much, even from a conspiratorial point of view, he's pretty much spot on. Like that's the only, like, it makes sense.
It does make sense until you do something that I did. Weigh the conspirator, and I love a conspiracy, folks. I will tell you, I love a good conspiracy. But you got to do two things. You've got to weigh the conspiratorial angle with the facts in the case. Do they match up? If they match up, how many points match up? There's what's called a 10-point system. I could only match up 2 points in this case, Cal. I could only match up 2 points in this case. Okay? Number one, that there were excessive people at the crime scene, and there were people at the crime scene who didn't need to be there. And you're going to see some pictures of, well, I'm just going to say, I'll just put it out there like that. But you're going to see some things that have become problematic for some people. I can easily dismiss it now because I think I understand why. Let's watch.
She says that the reason her and Ellen split up, even though Ellen has no idea, her and Ellen split because she was money hungry. She was greedy, and she would do anything for money. For somebody who says that they're all about loving each other and spreading love and being kind, she didn't follow that behind the scenes. She was all talk. And so Anne said we just had differing opinions and we had different values. So she decided to end it.
You broke up with her because she had a lot of money, or you broke up with her because...
I broke up with her because her goal was to have a lot of money, and mine was to find love, and hers was I want 60 billion. Good luck. Our forks are never going to meet. The further we stay on with this, the further we will be apart.
Okay. She didn't live in that loving kindness.
Sure, she didn't.
I feel
I want you to look at her hands. Everyone, just look at her hands.
that you were so wronged. And now to know that you were continuing to be wronged, it fires me up a little bit.
But there's one thing that I know about somebody who is greedy or somebody who has this greed addiction. It's not the greed itself. It's not this love of money itself that is actually scary about someone who's greedy. It's what they'll do or the lengths they'll go to get this money.
Okay, how far will people go for money? That's the question. Do you think, how much money possibly was at stake? I mean, let's just call it what it is. How much money do you really think was at stake there, Cal?
I'll go ahead and say several million.
Okay.
You
So
know,
give me some sense of that, Cal.
well, I mean, Ellen had her show. She had movie deals.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
and I don't honestly think that any of this was about the money per se.
Okay.
Like it just really looks like somebody set it up to where Anne Heche would die to protect other people.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that. There's two more clips we're going to look at. You were talking earlier about the cars. Now you're a car guy, so take a look at this.
He, like in the government, grabbed this car because maybe they had some sort of vested interest in this car. The other thing with the car is that it very, very, very much looks like another car that I saw from a different case from 2013. You guys might have heard of him. His name's Michael Hastings. These two cars look identical. Michael Hastings' car was speeding down kind of like a business district road. According to reports, there had been 0 accidents from 2001 until 2009 on that road. It's a very safe road. But Michael Hastings, not so much. He goes flying down this road. They assume he was hitting speeds of 100 miles an hour because his car was actually airborne, according to certain witnesses. But after his car goes flying past this camera, you just see it fly over the median and smash into one of the giant palm trees there and burst into flames. Sounds.
By the way, Cal, guess what kind of car that is?
Ooh, is it a Mini Cooper?
There you go. Yeah, it's a Mini Cooper. There you go. Watch this.
It's very similar to what we just experienced with Anne Heche flying down the street uncontrollably. The other thing that you note about these two incidents is that, well, first of all, Anne Heche didn't have any black box recordings or reports come out, which is very typical in a car crash situation. In that Macy Marie Lathers case, they had a black box thing saying that she didn't apply the brakes. She actually applied the accelerator. But there was no black box report for Anne Heche. Also, no black box report for Michael Hastings. So I don't know. It doesn't sound like either one of them were trying to brake. They might have even been accelerating into it. It's like the Anne Heche situation.
As I said before, I don't think they were trying to accelerate. We absolutely know that she tried the brake because you can hear the brakes screeching. You can absolutely hear them. Now, I know I'm not hearing things, Cal, so if I am, please tell me.
Well, you're not hearing things, but I do want to point out, because Michael Hastings, didn't he have dealings with the Clinton campaign?
That's exactly who we're talking about, yeah. We're talking, there are a number of things here, so that, yes, and let's watch, you'll understand.
Situation, they started pushing in the media that he was high on substances and that he had been talked to by his family. They were trying to convince him to go to rehab. They're saying that he must have been high on the devil's lettuce and that mathematics. But the toxicology report comes back and shows that he was not actively intoxicated at all. But we're still not done, you guys, 2 days before Anne Heche's crash, a U.S. representative named Jackie Walorski was driving in a car with 2 of her staffers.
Guess what kind of car she was driving?
I'm guessing it's a Mini Cooper.
A Mini Cooper, imagine that.
They were attempting to pass another vehicle.
Keep that in mind, folks, because I'm going to explain what I think happened.
When they ended up crossing the median and smashing head-on into another car. All 3 of them passed away instantly. Nobody in the car ended up making it out. Now, the first thing I thought of when I heard about this was this video that I saw of this Tesla that like pulls over on the side of the road, likely because they're experiencing some sort of weird issue. And then the car just takes off and starts flying down the road, flying for miles until it finally comes to a crashing end. Just the other interesting thing with Jackie is that she's a U.S. representative that was a huge, huge proponent of passing different bills that fought human trafficking, sex trafficking, all types.
There are, and that's important. I stop that here because let me explain something. The conspiracy people are saying that she and Anne Heche were working together. That is categorically not true. They didn't even know each other, and they were not even in the same state together. Even if Anne Heche were involved in some kind of litigation or I'm sorry, in some kind of legislation, she can't do it in another state. She's not a resident of Indiana. She's a resident of California. That's where she lived. And her representation there is not this woman, okay? Not Miss Jablonski or whatever her name is. We're going to see here in a second.
Women's and children's rights. She was a huge proponent in all these different aspects, so you can imagine she wasn't too popular amongst other politicians. Most notably, she sponsored the Human Trafficking Prevention, Intervention, and Recovery Act of 2014. Among other ones. So if you take all of these different crashes into account, one of the common denominators is this out-of-control vehicle. And I was looking more into it, and it's not too far-fetched to think that the government or somebody out there could remotely control these cars.
Now, I want you, and we're going to talk about that because we were talking about remote control vehicles, basically hacking your car. The car that you saw that took off on its own just now, I absolutely believe that car was remotely controlled because it went from 0 to 90 in 3 seconds. Literally 0 to 90 in 3 seconds, okay? Look at these photos. Tell me what you see, Cal. Tell me what you see in any of these photos. What? And I need you to speak, Cal. So because I need to hear you.
Well, I can't really see what you're seeing. I see Anne.
Well, I don't want you to see what I'm saying. I want you to tell me what you see. That's why I'm asking you.
I can't really tell.
Sometimes Cal's a little slow, folks, but trust me, he's worth waiting for. Go ahead, Cal.
What is that circled? In the
there you go. There you go. What you're looking at is the stick shift in that Mini Cooper. That's what she's got her hand on, that stick shift. She's in her car, by the way. And the person she's talking to is a reporter from TMZ. That's the same day that this accident happened. It happened about 10 minutes after that picture was taken. I want you to look at the shirt she's wearing. Okay? It's the same shirt. It's the same shirt.
Holy shit.
It happened 10 minutes later, Cal. Literally right after that picture was taken. You are looking at the last picture of Anne Heche alive. Right there. Right there. There's the car. There's some other pictures I want you to look at. I want you to take a good look at these firefighters. Does anything stand out as unusual?
Well, I will say that their uniforms are pretty pristine. They're standing. Oh, looks like the guy on the left, he's just standing straight down with his arms down like he doesn't know what he's even doing.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm with you. Go ahead. You're on the right track.
These aren't real firefighters.
I don't believe so either. I don't believe so either.
These are all actors.
I think they are crisis actors. Now, hold on a second, 'cause I want you to see something here. I want you to look at the firefighter to the far right, standing next to that bush.
Hey, he's on his phone.
Wait a minute. Look at what he's wearing. What is he wearing?
He's wearing a pair of khakis.
No, he's not. He's wearing a pair of black suit pants with shiny black shoes.
Well,
I'm going to show you something. Hold on a minute. I want to show you something. I'm going to show you a better version of that picture. It's going to blow your mind. I saw this picture and I went, "Are you kidding me?"
Well, I also cannot see his shiny black shoes. It cuts off.
Well, you're going to in a minute. Right here. Here you go. How about that?
Wow. And I will say this. He's not even really standing right there either. That's Photoshop.
That's believe it or not, that is from the official crime scene photographs.
Yeah, but he's not really standing there. It's obvious he was put on, like he was edited into that photo.
I'm just telling you, brother. I'm just telling you. I'm just a reporter. I'm just a guy. I got no dog in this fight. I'm just putting the shit out there. You see it. I see it. Okay? Now, here's the thing. It's important now. Look at that and look at that. Do you see? It looks different, doesn't it?
Can you put both photos side by side?
I wish I could. I don't think I have that capability. But I can do this. Hold on. I can certainly try to do this. Hold on a second. Here we go. Well, there's one. Whoop, hold on. Sorry, Cal. Here you go. Here you go. And let me put this up because it keeps wanting to go. It keeps wanting to go, but here you go. You got that there and that there. Now, clearly both of them are the same photo, but one looks like it's more realistic with the picture than the other. Okay. This one here, that looks real to me. That looks real to me.
The first one was AI done with AI.
This one here.
That's an altered image. That's AI.
Well, then what the hell is this?
I mean,
it looks more realistic. I don't know what to say about it. They're all from the crime scene. I don't know what to say. That's why I wanted you to look at this because I know that you pick apart stuff like this, and that's what I'm counting on.
All right. It looks like this is almost stumping me. So they edited the photo. Why would they have to go back and edit it to begin with?
Well, here's the thing, though. The photo you're looking at came from a video. But so did this. These are all part of a video. And I want you to take a real good look at this again. Look at those firefighters there. They're all dirty. They look like they've been in a fire. Right?
Right.
These guys don't. This guy definitely does not. He's on his freaking phone. What question is, who's he talking to? I can't answer that. The only thing I can say is the conspiracy people have 2 or 3 points they can hang their head on. But you've got to have a full 10-point system in order to call this a conspiracy. I can't do that, Cal, but this photo, I'm going to tell you, this picture stumps me.
I'll make one more observation.
Go ahead.
In one of the photos, it looks like the man holding the phone is standing. He's basically in the same spot, but in one of them, he looks a little more forward, like very minute.
There's a reason for that. As I said, it came from a video, so you're looking at 2 separate still pictures. My question is, if that's AI, how did they do that AI with a real? I don't know how AI works. How do you do that with a real, a real time video? How do you superimpose AI? Like, what kind of technology do you need?
They've kind of been doing that. There's a new AI model called Sora 2, and people have been able to take video clips from Grand Theft Auto games and actually make them look like real people, like it's an actual movie trailer.
I want to show everybody something real quick. I want to show everybody something, and I want you just to take a look. Because I have some videos here that, you could go either way with this. Let me see. I want to kind of do this. Here you go. Perfect. This is a perfect idea of what Cal is talking about. Where is it? Where is it? Where did it go? Oh, I froze up, Cal.
Yep.
I did. I froze up. I don't know what happened here, but it froze up. But you can still hear me, though.
Yep.
Okay.
I can still hear you.
What I was attempting to do that didn't quite work is I'm going to actually have to get out of here and come back in. So, Cal, you are going to talk to everybody for a moment, and I'll be back, okay?
Yeah, so, Anne Heche definitely, I believe, was murdered. She knew too much about what was going on. And what happened to her?
There we go. I'm back. I don't know what the hell happened, folks, but I'm back.
Yeah, you've been lagging a little bit tonight. It's just usually for a couple seconds, and then you get back to normal.
Yeah, I know, right? It's I don't know what happened to that to the clip. I think what happened, folks, and I'll just apologize in advance. I think what happened is our clip it glitched. And the only way I can put it is we glitched. But at least I know it was, a real glitch and not like, a glitch in the matrix or anything like that, because we're all still here anyway. But let me try. I'm going to try and do this again. I'm wanting to be able to do this. I want to try and show if I can. It might be here. Then it's not going to let me do it. It's not going to let me do it, folks. Wow. Ain't this some shit?
Hit the F5 key. See if it reloads.
F5, huh?
Yeah,
leave it to Cal, brother. F5. I guess we'll.
And we have lost Mad Dog once again, folks. He should be back in just a moment.
I guess we're going to have to say to hell with that clip. Then
It just wasn't meant to happen.
It wasn't meant to happen. Oh, anyway, but you get where we're going with it, Cal. I was fully prepared, and I really mean this. I was fully prepared to do this from a conspiratorial angle until I started looking at the actual evidence and realized, yes, can I make a case for a conspiracy? Absolutely, I can. I could also make a case for a ham sandwich, too. But that's not going to happen tonight either. But the only case I can make, realistic case I can make, is that this was a tragic, a sad, unfortunate event that happened. A woman lost her life, and she was declared physically dead, legally dead, and brain dead, mentally dead, psychologically dead, on all three levels, as is required by law. That's what people say. Well, she died 3 times or she died twice. No, she didn't die twice. She was declared dead twice, 3 times, for a reason. She was a donor. Her organs were going to other people. In order for that to happen under the law, she can't be living to do that. And she was not living. Her brain ceased function. Her body ceased function. She was legally, physically, and psychologically deceased. And there's no way, I'm sorry, but there's no way to get around it, folks. It's not a conspiracy. She passed. She passed. And sad, yes. Was she a great actress? Yes. But she was also a really troubled woman who had a lot going on in her life. And my heart goes out to her family and her kids and people who knew her. And it's just one of those things, Cal. Sorry, but it's one of those things. It happens.
Unfortunately. I was actually watching an episode of, I believe it was Criminal Minds.
Uh-huh.
And there was an episode where there was a teenager that was taking control of people's vehicles and having them careen down the highways, but he was just trying to screw with people. He wasn't trying to kill nobody.
Yeah, unfortunately, something like that can go very awry very quickly. So you guys out there, you computer hackers, you guys, the computer nerds, you guys are great at what you do, but don't fuck around with people's lives, because it will, I promise you, it will bite you on the ass, okay? Cal, what do you got coming up over the holidays? What's going on with you?
I'm actually going to go spend the holidays with my mom, trying to rekindle my relationship with her. I can't stay mad at my mom forever.
Yeah, I just lost my mother. She was 90, and I'm unsettled about that because I did not have the relationship with my mother at the end that I wanted to have. Our relationship was far better earlier before my father passed away, and when my dad died, um, my relationship with my mother went south in a hurry because she changed a lot. She's gone now, so at this Christmas time, I am missing my father and my mother and my sister, who is also departed. The family that I have here, we don't talk to each other anymore. Though I should say they don't talk to me. They talk to each other, but not me. And I'm okay with that. I have a wife, I have a daughter, and I have an extended family who love me, and a sister-in-law who thinks I'm a complete and utter nutcase, and she's absolutely right. And God bless her, I love her. And that's my family. And Cal, I wish for you, my friend, at this holiday, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I wish for you to have the relationship with your mother that you want to have. And I hope that I play Santa Claus for you in this Christmas, and maybe give you the gift of your mom's love. So and we all need that, and we all miss that too. But for Big Cal Yater and Amelia, who is getting her hair done tonight, a well-deserved night off. I will see you, Amelia, next year on January 5th, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. And Cal, I'll see you there as well, as we will welcome back for the new year Mary Murphy from So You Think You Can Dance, who was, by the way, a real good friend of Twitch and Anne Heche.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to because Big Daddy got you covered. Well, listen, you guys, we got a show tomorrow night. It's our last show for 2025. I will have the Rat Pack together again on our Christmas end of the year spectacular. I will have Tony Sands as Frank Sinatra. I will have Robert Cabela as Dean Martin, and I will have Jeff Foote as Sammy Davis Jr. They'll be joining us live tomorrow night, and we're gonna go out 2025 and have a good time going out, folks. And I wish my love and my peace and my happiness for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, we will see each other again, and God will give us another day, another week, month, and year to be with you, and many more after that. And this is my heartfelt thank you for being loyal members of the show, for watching us. You are amazing people. You're a wonderful audience, and I will speak on Cal's behalf and Amelia's behalf when I say, be it come as what may. How did I say it? Be it as it were, come as it may. We will always have you in our hearts every night and day. I knew I would get it right, Cal. I knew I would get it right, by God. I just had to breathe, Ange. Breathe, Ange. I'll get it out. When it comes to
the phrase.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? It's like it's an old Italian expression. It kind of goes similar, but but when you're old and your mind is feeble and you forget shit, it's hard to remember anything. Well, look, folks, we will be out of here. We're going to go, as we said before. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. We'll see you again. God bless you, folks. Have a great night. For Big Cal, I'm the Mad Dog. Take care. See you tomorrow.
Merry Christmas.